Hi, I'm Dr. Kit Weathers. Welcome to the Root Tip of the Week. But let's start with the illusion of the week. Okay, this is a rather old card trick, and it's about the four robbers. And what we're going to do is tell you the story of the four robbers that were going to break into this bank. So we've got the four jacks here, and they're going to be crawling onto the roof to sneak down into the bank where they heard there was $1 million in one of the safes. They didn't know which floor it was on, so the four robbers went to the top. One of them went into the basement. The second robber went into the first floor. Third robber went into the second floor, and the other robber remained on top as a lookout. Now the robbers did find the safe. They found it on the second floor, and they were all down there, and all of a sudden there was a siren, and the robber that was on the top looking out for everybody said, "Guys, we better get back up to the roof as quick as possible right now because we've got to make a run for it." And sure enough, they did. The four robbers immediately got onto the roof and made their getaway. And that's the trick with the four robbers. To learn the secret to this and other magic tricks in this series, go to EndoRootCamp.com. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little magic trick of the four robbers. But right now, I want to get serious about four more robbers that may be causing you a lot more problems than you ever thought. These are the four endodontic robbers. And these four things, if you're not careful, can really take away from your bottom line. So let's look at them one at a time, and I'll show you how you can avoid getting robbed by any of these four robbers. Robber number one, preparing the apex is the very first step in your instrumentation. If you insist on going down and getting all the way to the working length in the very beginning, you're going to find that takes a lot of time. So I'm going to suggest something to you today that's maybe a little backwards from what you learned in dental school, but I'm going to suggest that you create a flare and prepare the apical 2/3 of the root canal before beginning the apical preparation. If you will do that, you'll find that what used to be the hardest part of the entire preparation becomes the easiest if you save it till last. Think about it, give it a try. I think you'll enjoy that. Robber number two, not trusting your apex locator. If you use your apex locator to determine the working length, you'll find not only do you save a lot of time, but you're going to be much more accurate. An electronic apex locator gives you a very exact reading, whereas trying to look at an x-ray and see where the apex is, you're going to find out you're going to get fooled a lot. So try the apex locator, trust it. In the chart, write EAL, electronic apex locator, and trust it. It's going to be right. One other thing, and I've mentioned this before though, when you trust your apex locator, take it till it reads apex, then subtract a millimeter, and that will bring you back into the narrowest part of the canal. If you don't do that, you'll find when it reads apex, the tip of the file will be just a little bit out the end of the tooth. That's okay, you want to be patent, but make sure you subtract that millimeter to get back into the tight part of the canal. Robber number three is probably the worst of the entire bunch, not having proper case selection. Because if you don't select your cases right, you're going to find you've got all kinds of problems. The 80-20 rule says that 80% of all the problems that will ever happen in your office are caused by 20% of the patients. And if you'll just take a little time to figure out which 20% that is before you get started, then you can avoid a lot of problems in the future. And finally, robber number four is the most costly of them all, not charging what you're worth. Because if you don't charge what you're worth, you will become worth what you charge. Check around and see what the endodontist in your area charges, because if you're trying to do a procedure normally done by a specialist, you have the same obligation to do a good job as the specialist does. And if you cannot do that, don't treat the patient. But if you can, why would you only charge maybe 2/3 of what the endodontist charges? Do a good job, raise your fees. Almost everybody that's listening to this probably needs to raise your fees about 10%. And that will wipe out the last of the four robbers, and it will definitely improve your bottom line. Now you might wonder, how can I learn a little bit more about all of these things you talked about? My suggestion is come to my Endo Root Camp, sign up as soon as you possibly can, go to EndoRootCamp.com and register, and I will see you at my next root camp, I hope, very, very soon. Thanks for watching. So, as a general practitioner, what will you learn at the Endodontic Root Camp? Everything from soup to nuts. Some of the subjects we'll be covering at the Endo Root Camp would be diagnosis, anesthesia, access, shaping, cleaning, irrigation, obturation, case selection, rubber dam, single visit endo, digital imaging, restoration of the endodontically treated tooth, practice management, the economics of endodontics, and much, much more. Well, that's it for another Root Tip of the Week. I'm Dr. Kit Weathers, inviting you to register at endorootcamp.com for free videos and special reports you can't get anywhere else. Meanwhile, I will see you at our next Endo Root Camp.